I'm Beverly Shade, and I started in the wrestling business in 1957. Used to go to the matches in St. Louis, Missouri. Lived in Illinois, went to St. Louis, and never had seen the women wrestle before. I always watched the men, but had never seen women. And I thought, me and my girlfriend were watching one day, and I said, well, hell, I can do that. So we went over. We pestered Sam Mushnick till he got so tired of us. He was going to send us to Billy Wolf, and instead he called me one day and wanted to know if I could go to Tampa, Florida. And I said, sure. And he sent us to Tampa, Florida to Cowboy Luttrell, who was a promoter there at that time. And he took her one way and took me the other way and threw us in the ring. Green as gourd, didn't know anything. Got the crap beat out of us, and when it was over, he came back and said, you still want to learn how to wrestle? I would have done it then or died. And I said, yeah. Well, Ella Waldick, they had the ring set up for Westerly Army, and Ella Waldick worked out with us every day for 2 hours, and then we go work shows at night. So I did that in Florida for about 6 months, and then he sent us to Nashville to Nick Gulas. Went up there for 6 or 8 months, and then I quit for a while, and we moved to Florida because my dad's in the service, and we moved to Tampa, and I worked a few shots with Ella for a while, and then I quit again, and I started back in 1968, and I worked from 68 to 89 when I retired. And I met Moolah in the late 70s. She had called, and she needed some girls to go to Japan. They was starting a new girl wrestling program in Japan, and she wanted to send some girls, so she sent me, Tasha, Tracy Richards, Princess Jazz, and Vivian St. John. And we went over there for her for 6 weeks. Then came back, and she needed a girl in 1980. She needed a girl to work with her and Peggy Lee Leather and Candy Malloy in New York. So I went to New York with her as her tag team partner. We were up there for 3 weeks. My husband and I promoted wrestling in Florida. So what we would do is sometimes we needed a girl or something, we'd call her and she'd come work for us, or she needed me, I'd go work for her. And she was training guys at that time. And she wanted a place, where they could get out in front of the public, and get used to being in the ring in front of people and all. So she'd bring a couple of her guys down and 3 or 4 of the girls and work for us. We were doing TV and all, so worked quite a bit with Moolah and Judy Martin, Winona Little Heart, Velvet McIntyre, Donna Pinto, quite a few of those girls we worked with. So if we needed anybody, we called her. She'd come down, and if she needed me, she'd call me, and I'd go work for her. I didn't work for her as, she didn't train me or anything. I didn't work out of her stable, but if she needed an extra girl or anything, or if we needed anybody. And she always showed me respect, and I always showed her respect. So with all this stuff, that's going on, I can't believe it.
Now, in speaking of your experience not training with Moolah, and having a different start, do you feel like Moolah made being an independent female wrestler at that time a difficult thing?
Well, she didn't when I first started, because she wasn't running the wrestling then. She didn't have control over the wrestlers at that time. So the NWA would use whatever girls were available. But then later on, I don't know how she managed it. She got an in with the NWA. If you worked for, you didn't work for Crockett. If you wasn't one of Moolah's girls, you didn't work in New York if you weren't one of Moolah's girls. So it did make it kind of hard for the independent girls to go to places, because if you didn't work for her, they wouldn't book you.
Was that kind of how the business worked at that time?
Yeah.
Moolah gave you, as an independent wrestler, bookings regardless of the fact that you didn't train there or want one of her girls.
Well, at that time, when Moolah first started, she worked just like the rest of the independents. And then I guess she came up with the idea of training her own girls and, and doing her own booking and everything, and that's kind of when she kind of took over.
What kind of reputation did Moolah's girls have?
Well, I never heard anything bad about any of them. And I worked with a lot of them, and I never heard anything bad about any of them until all this stuff came up in this last month or so.
Do you feel that Moolah's school and her training held back women's wrestling at all?
And no, I don't think so, because I don't think either of those girls that came out of that school wasn't a good worker.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know whether she trained, if she trained them all, or if she got one or two trained and then they took the other girls and trained them, worked with them, or what. But I haven't seen a bad girl come out of there as far as any of them I've ever seen.
Another topic that's come up was Moolah's stance on drugs, accusations of Moolah drugged these girls and things like that. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't no more believe that than donkeys can fly. I don't agree with that at all. I do not agree with that at all, because Moolah didn't even like you to smoke a cigarette around her. So I can't hardly see her, and I smoked, and she didn't even like you smoking a cigarette around her, so I can't picture her. I just can't picture her doing it. And I think I know her well enough to know, at least I know from the time I knew her up until she passed away, she did. But I just don't believe that.
When you wrestled for Moolah, can you tell us what that experience was like, just from the beginning?
When she called me to go work for her?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, went to Thailand with her. I think we were there for 4 weeks. And she treated us just like I treated any of the girls that worked with me. She never mistreated anybody. And the only thing that I can say, and I can't prove it, the only thing I can say is I know that she took a percentage of everybody's pay. How much, I don't know. I know when she told me she paid me so much, to go to Thailand, I got what she told me I'd get. Now, I don't know what she meant, but I got what she told me that I was going to get. And when I went to New York, I wasn't guaranteed anything, and we were up for 3 weeks. And senior was that was before he passed away, and she got paid, and then she paid us. And I know for a fact, we worked the Big Shea Stadium show, which was the biggest outdoor show they had ever drawn, and we were the semi-main. And when she paid us, I don't know what she paid her girls, but I know what she paid me, $250. And I know for a fact that Larry Sharp and the guy that he worked on the preliminary got $1,500. So I don't know what she got, but I know what she paid me. So I know that was told from all the girls and everything. That's how she made her money. She got a percentage of what they paid. I don't know what the percentage was. I know what she took. What she gave me, like I say. But if you stop and think about it, it's no different than being an actor and you've got an agent. They get a percentage of what you make. And I've heard all these other stories about how she treated them all. I can't say anything about any of it because I wasn't there, didn't see any of it.
So it's safe to say that you felt that system was fair at the end of the day, then, kind of.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm the one that took the book, and she's the one that offered, and I'm the one that went. So if I got screwed, poor pitiful me, shame on me, right? They were talking about, Moolah not paying them all right. They should have worked back in the 50s, and early 60s. They should have worked for Nick Gulas. I was up there for him for 6 weeks, or 6 or 8 weeks, and we went from Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee. We wrestled one night, came back, and I don't know where all we ran out of Nashville. He ran Birmingham. He ran small towns in Alabama, some small towns there, and all of the state of Tennessee. So I went in at the end of the week, get my pay, and they would give you a list of each town you worked in and what you made in each town. And when Christine Jarrett was working in the office, and she handed me my envelope, and I opened it up, and I looked, and I called Johnson, Tennessee, and I said, oh, shit. We drove all the way to Johnson City, Tennessee, and back for $15, and we paid $6 in trans. So that's how much we got left out of the trip from Nashville to Johnson City, Tennessee. So if somebody wants to complain about money, go work for Nick Gulas.
That being said, another thing that has gone around the internet is that the girls were forced to live on the property. Now, that being said, I know you didn't train there, but was that a condition of you accepting bookings at all?
Me? No. Because I'm married, still am, lived in Tampa, had my own home. We promoted wrestling in Florida and Georgia, so there was no way I only worked for her if she needed an extra girl once in a while. If I didn't work for her, I had plenty of working to do on my own.
Did you ever hear of Moolah literally pimping women out?
No, never did.
Have you ever heard that term used in wrestling?
Yeah.
In what capacity?
When you get bookings, you'd say, "Well, I got pimped out on that one." You didn't make what you thought you was going to make, or something like that. But never as far as what you're talking about, like pimping the girls out to guys and stuff like that. No, I don't more believe that than donkeys can. Like I said, I don't more believe that than donkeys can fly. Because I knew Moolah well enough to know that she just wasn't that type of person. Now they may have used the word pimping as far as what they got money wise when they worked and they got paid, and somebody took it. Some screwball that's brains are sitting in the bottom of their feet somewhere took it as pimping them out, to men or something. It just don't make no sense. If you knew Moolah, you'd know that's not true.
You said before you had Moolah work for you and her girls. How was that experience for you and your promotion?
Well, she packed her and her girls packed a lot of our shows, and we told her what we could pay when they came down, and that's exactly what we paid them. We paid Moolah, and when they came, and what she did with that after that was her business. But we paid her exactly what we told her we'd pay her, and she always came. Like I say, I have nothing bad to say about the lady. She always treated me with respect, and I always treated her with respect.
I want to get your thoughts on this, on the cyberbullying, really, that led to the Fabulous Moolah's name being honored at WrestleMania and then being ripped off due to the cyberbullying and pressuring of Snickers and the WWE to change the name. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I don't know who started this, but I'd like to have about 5 minutes with them. I may be old, but I can still swing. I can't believe that anybody is that jealous or that stupid. I don't know what they thought they were accomplishing. To take somebody that can't speak for themselves and run them through the mud like they're doing her. I just can't believe anybody. I just find it hard to believe. And she's not here to defend herself, which is not right. I don't understand what they think they're accomplishing. They accomplished getting her name run through the mud is all they accomplished. And I don't know, but my mama always told me what goes around comes around.
After the cyberbullying, Snickers released a comment implying that Moolah was not inclusive. Do you feel that Moolah was inclusive at her camp and the women that she booked, meaning do you feel like she was a racist or a bigot or whatever when it came to working with or using talent?
No, I do not. I don't think she was a bit racist. I have never heard Moolah say anything prejudiced against anybody.
What are your thoughts on Moolah overall? Her contributions to wrestling, women's wrestling. Do you feel an empowering woman? What do you feel her mark on wrestling is altogether?
Well, I think that she was women wrestling. She's the one that really got all the girls going. Got the names for all of them. Lilani Kai and Judy Martin. All the different tag teams that she had, Velvet and all of them. Look at the pusher those girls got because of her. They got a lot more exposure than us independent girls did. You know, TV and all. They got a lot more than the independent girls got. And I think she did a great job for women's wrestling.
Well, thank you, Beverly, for doing this interview for us.
Well, sweetie, you're more than welcome.